Good afternoon, YouTubers, cyber lurkers, scroungers, all kinds of irreverent individuals who scour the internet day or night. This is the third episode of Jazer's Aussie Crazed Vodcast, and we've got a selectable treats for you for today's episode. And the integral theme, I will be focusing on a few subjects episode per episode. So today's theme, which we're mainly focusing on, is psyching the mind and testing the odds. Now, mind and odds don't go fluently as they go constructively. It's about knowing how you think the mind works and how it removes certain depictions or even intuitions of what you see or hear or think. So I'm just going to go and how I explain it through a few present issues that have been a real integral focus in the media over the last 48 hours, 72 hours. And first of all, I guess I should let my opinions known about the preempted leadership coup that has intensified in the South Australian Parliament. As many overseas viewers won't know, we are under a certain different system where we go by the Westminster Old English, New American, or whatever type of system we use, but the political system has been invigorated by the way most politicians have been acted, how they behave and how they construe certain intuitions of how they go about their jobs, and for that they're seriously compromised as being corrupt, they're irretainable, they're no longer fulfilled to do the job, and many of them do unfortunately flutter to not having that withstanding reputation once they once intenserated when they first started getting to the job over a certain amount of decades. Now, going back to South Australia, to cut the long story short, is come to the attention of certain news outlets that Mike Rand's performance and integrity within the Labor Party is no longer efficient for him to stand in as state premier, and they have no respect. They don't think he's doing an incredible job. They just lose all patience, and they lost the preeminence to stand firm with him. So they no longer see him as a fit, inferior leader who can lead the government, the coalition, into the next state election, which is scheduled for 2014. My observations of this has been fair, few and far on Facebook, but never within the integral realms of YouTube. So I won't devour what I've got to say about it, because I don't want to be too dissected in knowing I'm not saying or not speaking much sense, or people get confused, or they get a bit retained that I'm not speaking any sense to the formalities of what's going on with the South Australian government, with Labor, and with the so-called the attainable elites of a good, strong, formidable government body, the one that lead us to greatness and fulfillment and total repetitiveness to making sure that Australia is economically secure, is financially sounded, and that we can just basically run it as it should be run, the way that any democratic Western government should be run, without going to millions or billions of dollars in retainable debt, as was been seen in Greece, in America, and other European nations. I think Rand knew that this was going to come. He knew it was going to happen. The way he's presented his authority and his presence within the Labour Party and how he went about his official duties as Premier is a lot to be decided, and it's a far cry to what it was when he first was elected back 17 years ago. 17 years. Ooh, so, yeah, seriously, yeah. So the fall of 2000, and I think, yeah, readily he took over just after the Liberals have a very an inordinate disastrous term in government. And Mike Grant took over. He was for the people, by the people. He believed in the values that the taxpayers should be consulted and should be notified when policy was being sanctioned or was being implemented, or when we had a chance to have our thoughts heard and considered in the House of Parliament. But because that dream has extinguished, he no longer has the backing of the left and right factions in the Labour caucus, and for that he's been duped. But he's not going down without a fight. He's very upset and angry, for me understanding, because no minister or prime minister or even premier or president wants to be uprooted by his colleagues, by his superiors, by his second in command, his commander in chiefs. And they don't want to be betrayed, because we all saw what happened to Kevin Rudd, after Julia Gillard wanted to uproot him so she can take the initial job as first female prime minister of our fair, native, diversified nation. And she's not that much of a job, but her diminishing capacity to know which policy is going to be iterated in the next serving government or not to be certified by the serving government is a lot to be decided. And we all know what happened with the carbon tax, but I'll leave that to another episode. So I'm already going just short because I don't want to rabbit on about this. So I think Rand time is initially up, and Weathermill and Weatherlill, I think that's his name, Jay Weatherlill, will most certainly do a great job. Some say he's a man of impeccable integrity. He's got good predence to lead the Labour into the next election, and if they can get enough seats to form a fourth successful term in government, even though they've got a different leader, even though they've been served preemptively by a guy who was originally a speechwriter for the incredibly totally remarkable premier of all political history, Don Dunstan. But now he is a conglomerate, and for that he is a man who should have left when he knew his time was up. He was at his prime, probably in the mid noughties, but then he just got a bit retentive when he kept on winning more seats, and everyone was expecting Labour to be the martyrs of progressiveness and the nationalities of diversity and equality, as we will see with the recent debates on gay marriage, and the dismissal of support that's been given to ministers, to politicians, to business owners, to youth everywhere, from schools, from universities, and even from the academic constituents. So at the end of the day, new leader needs to be elected. The prawn has been covered off the backbone, and the executors won't be reprimanded or exonerant for losing faith to their delectable leader. And for that, I hugely intensively will be glued to the blogs and to the social networking sites and to the television with complete intolerance to know what's going to happen, how Rand's going to go about leaving the party, how Webbermill is going to go about leading Labor to another successful divisive term as in government, and if the Liberals will use this visceral abnormality to take the charge and do what's been done in New South Wales, Victoria, and probably instead we'll probably have in Queensland in the not foreseeable future, to lead the new successful charge of conservatism and the oriented fundamentalism of communarance of not being too radical or intensive to the left faction. All right, getting away from politics, we are going to talk about something that has been really indebted and it was read in the Advertiser and many other metro newspapers, and that is what I'm talking about, of course, is the Pride of Australia Medal Program. This initiative, this elite award, was first was first reincarnated in about 7 years ago. So it would have started about 2006. Yeah, it was in 2005 or 2006. The Prime Australia Medal Award program started, and it gives a chance for leaders or for members of your community who are doing extraordinary things, really going to the bat for those within their community and what they have done within the intention of doing a great job and not getting enough accolades or praise for it. Well, you do get praise, but not within the hierarchy of getting big awards and commendations and praisal for what is initially a good intended job of spreading your voice and narrating your opinion to the public, constituents and to the social conscience. Well, I've been nominated in the top 4 in the South Australian equivalent to POA, short acronym Pride of Australia, of Young Leader. And I've been speaking about this a lot on Facebook over the last couple of days. And it's going to get even more intensive with my local suburban rag running a feature piece on me and a couple more finalists who are up the batting for some of the categories, which include inspiration, environment, childhood courage, and young leader, for which I've been nominated alongside 3 other exceptionally achievement irreverent young people who have gone the extra mile just to be who they are and go to the and just go about their day and just do anything that they can just to help those who are less fortunate, who are disadvantaged, who are underprivileged and do not have their voice heard. Their opinions are not considered when people talk about, and it's up to you as a formidable voice to say something and to give it back, to give your own what hasn't been you, Ray, when you were younger, but get a chance to give something which was never recited to you, but now you can do it on your own. So that's the thing I'm excited about, being nominated as young leader for the 2011 Pride of Australia Medal in the South Australian constituents. So I got my invitation, was sent last week, sent all the formidable paperwork, include terms and conditions, consent form, character references, national police check. So no formidable skeletons in the woolen closet. So no. So anyway, I'm excited. I'm internally overwhelmed